So that's the outline. And if you think of a strong presentation, your introduction is going to hold you through the boring parts, or if you stumble over something, or if you make a mistake, or da-da-da-da-da-da-da, okay? You're going to grab their attention first, and they'll bear with you, okay? But if you have a boring introduction, something that doesn't capture their attention, you've lost them. You've got to bring them back, okay? You can end strong, you can have great content, but if your presentation doesn't start strong, it doesn't matter what the content is, it doesn't matter what the ending is, you've lost them, okay? So if you're going to work on something the most, your presentation must, what? What must it do? Grab their attention. Thank you. All right, let's move on to movement. All right. If I was doing this kind of stuff, it would be very distracting. I do believe in movement, if you've not already noticed, okay? But what I like to think about is anchors. Don't worry about the triangle that I spoke about or anything like that. Just think about, if you move to a location, stop and make your point. It's okay to talk on your way, but stop at a certain point and say what you need to say, then move to another point. Now I was thinking about the couples. What will the couples do? Obviously one on one side and the other on the other side. You're going to have limited movement. But you can do things like, I'll hand it over to Eric, okay? That gesture obviously conveys to us that, okay, Eric is now going to be speaking, okay? Simple things like that can be effective in the talk. Hand gestures, exaggerate, exaggerate, exaggerate. Because if you think you're doing this, what you're really doing is this, okay? And that, as long as it's not, overly exaggerated, so it's a bit, well, it could be comical, that could work. Words, let's move on to words. What if your audience is falling asleep? This room is going to generate a lot of heat. I'm already hot, okay? Do you feel the heat? Okay? What does heat do?
Makes you drowsy.
Makes you drowsy, makes you sleepy. So how am I going to bring you back? Air conditioning, there we go.
Enthusiasm.
There you go.
So just
That's
imagine.
my answer.
Oh, and I also give you permission to use water in the presentation. If you do, stop. Take a sip, not gulp. Best idea is room temperature water. Cold water will constrict your throat. Okay.
Salt, caffeine.
So caffeine, sugar, alcohol, just use water.
Did you listen that?
So how do I bring you back? Words are powerful. Now if I say, let me draw your attention over here, and you actually move at the same time, if you're sleeping, how many times have I been in church and fallen asleep?
So peaceful.
Who hasn't?
Okay, but there are certain things that presenters can do, like, knock on wood, do something, make a noise. Man, I'm excited. I really want to make this point strong. Simple things like that. Watch people's eyes. Look at everyone at least once, if you can, in an audience this size. If there's 800 people, it's not going to work. Words are powerful. What would be better if I said, in my market demographic, blah, 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 I can't charge $200, blah, blah, blah. What if I said, hey, my challenge in this area, I use the word challenge, okay? That is a lot stronger. So use strong words. If you do have a challenge, a negative or a weakness, what is a strong word you can put in its place? Think about that. They're also anchors to future leading down the trail of your talk. Excuses. Do not make excuses. Okay? This is where I'll pick Lewis. Okay? I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm here to learn, I'm in the audience, blah, blah, blah. I want to learn. I don't care if you've been up all night, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm a mean, ruthless audience. Okay? We all love Lewis. And you will get sleep in a couple of weeks' time. Okay? But you know what? If you came in and said, you know, I have sleep apnea, I didn't get any sleep last night, and you know, I lost my notes, and you know, it's blah blah blah, and you go on like that, you bring down the energy of the audience. You've wasted time on content that could be bringing up your audience, explaining what you're trying to achieve. So leave the excuses. If you have to bring in an excuse, make it a challenge. You know, one of the challenges I had with today's presentation is my brain wasn't working. You know, do it like that. You laugh.
You have a lot of challenges there.
So think about that. Leave out the challenges. Leave out the excuses. I forgot my place. What was I talking about? Don't do that. If you lose your place, simple thing you can do is say, you know what, I really have a point here that my notes say it a lot better. You've forgotten what you're talking about. You go to your notes and think, oh, where am I? That's where I am. And then you make something up, okay? Don't say, you know, don't just stand there like, do you know? So, think about your outline, your movements, and the words that you choose. And your presentation will be strong. What are we going to do as far as our presentation? What is the strongest part of your presentation?
Enthusiasm.
Your introduction. Your introduction. That will carry you. When you end it, end as strong as you can. Okay? It doesn't mean it have to be loud, but it has to bring you back to the original point, to whatever you're trying to convey. Use your words and your hands in conjunction with what you're trying to convey. Don't do words and movements that don't make sense. You know, don't distract. Keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple. You'll do well. When I was about 14 years old, I was baptized, and the preacher came up to me and he said that you're preaching next week. And I am. He said, oh, don't worry about it. If it's 10 minutes, that'll be fine. Everyone will understand. So I got up there and I spoke for 45 minutes. People were blown away. You know, I was so young and that I could just talk for so long. But none of them had an idea of what I was saying. Okay? It's one thing to have a passion about it, but you have to convey something to your audience. So when you get up here, have fun with what you're doing. You know your stuff. You know what you're doing. You know your printing company. Right? You know it?
Yes.
All right, you know it. Then just talk about it with passion. Take as much as you can from what I've given you now and what Lewis has given you in the outline. Okay? It'll all work. In the end, give yourself permission to succeed. Because you will, if you give yourself that permission.